Break. Check Mike 11. Check Mike 11. Let's go. Big trip.
Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 10 yards there and a first down for the Falcons. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they're in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense, because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Ready? 10 logo. Here we go. 12 the Mike. Tip the ball. Hey, orbit. Hit it.
2nd and 1. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that, because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for? So who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
Here's a 2nd and 7. He'll let this go for the end zone. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
The first down line at the 34 here on 3rd down.
Hey, dude. Hey, stand up. Sit down. Get it.
They'll set up a throw. Eluding the pressure right. Throwing right, and that's complete. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. How about 25 yards on 3rd down? They'll take it.
Here we go. Set. 30 base. Hey. You got 3. Three down.
A first down carry by Elliott. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
I think that's the type of run we'll continue to see throughout this game. The snow coming down, I don't expect a lot of big plays to be broken.
Hey, box drop. Yep. Hey, Jet. Yo, go. Check now.
Here's 2nd and 8. Escaping the pressure right. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
Play number 9 now on this pretty long opening drive, but this is 3rd down.
Hey, echo.
They'll drop the throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. And it bangs off the right upright. No good. And this will remain a scoreless game. Well, that hollow metal sound is the bane of any kicker's existence, and here, that sound is going to keep our game scoreless.
And you could see him give that body English as the ball was in the air. Come on, baby, come on. But no dice that time.
Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And it'll be 2nd and 12.
At the 19-yard line.
Red to 60 out block. All day, defense, all day, all day.
Here we go on 2nd and 12. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Mike's 50, Mike's 50. Ready, go.
Looking to throw. Gary into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 29, and they will take over at the 29-yard line.
Well, if you go by the numbers, you'll find as the temperature goes down, so does the passing efficiency. And now that we're in December, even the routine throws are going to be harder for the quarterbacks. And this one, it winds up getting picked off.
They'll run on 1st down. Elliott. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. They'll run with Elliott. It'll be a 5-yard pickup there. So from 2nd and 13, they're back to a more manageable 3rd and 8.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, and you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Now back to throw. And he's got his man on the out route. Coming into the week, he's the NFL's leader in receiving yards. There's his first catch, and it's good for a 1st down. Solid catch there for a man who's been so brilliant this year. Worth pointing out, as we were talking about earlier, there has never in the 60-year history of the award been a pass catcher, tight end, or wide receiver that has taken home the MVP trophy.
And the best receivers I've talked with, they know that stat, and it drives them crazy because they understand that without a quarterback, they don't make the plays that they make. They also don't feel like they get enough credit for bailing out some of the throws that quarterbacks make.
Absolutely. Takes 2 to tango.
Here we go, here we go. 60 or.
And he gets in. Touchdown, Atlanta. As his guys are in for 6. As his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. And now a 2-point conversion attempt forthcoming. They'll look to throw here. It's caught at the 1. And he is into the end zone to bump the lead up 2 more. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Let's go.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And he fires one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line. First quarter, and now he already has 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he's got to guard against being tentative from this point forward, though. He's got to still make the right reads, make the proper throws. I've seen guys in this league throw 4 interceptions in a game and win. He's got to understand, put it behind you, keep pressing forward.
There goes a deep ball, end zone. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. A big play there with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Falcons push further out in front. So now the Falcons are going to line up and go for 2 here.
Tyler, 64, weak. Go. Hey. Get it.
They'll let Elliott try and run it in. And he is in to make it 16-0. So 2 successful 2-point tries now for them.
And you know what it does? It gives you a boost, a huge one for your team because, hey, you're dominating them now. They can't stop you either scoring touchdowns or 2-point conversions. But how about the defense? You don't know what to do at this stage. You can't stop them in any direction.
About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Kenny Clark, what a season. Pain.
You've called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on. How about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Gary looking deep for Adams. And it's knocked away and incomplete. So on 4th down, here's the Australia native Mitch Wishnowsky to punt this one away. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. Fielded just inside the 20. 16-0. That's the score after 1 on EA Sports. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this?
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Packers pick it up. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. A little careless with the football, and he also had a fumble loss last week, didn't he?
He certainly did, and when I'm watching him play, the one thing that comes to mind is always remember, traffic, turbulence, people around you, 2 hands. Get 2 hands on the ball. Grip it tight. I know it looks cool to have it in one hand, but put it away, tuck it away, because you've got to take care of the ball.
And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And it'll make this a 2nd and long.
90. Wolf. It's our time. It's our time. Ready, go.
Now this time he'll look to throw. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. That one a gain of 20 and a 1st down. The first red zone opportunity now for the Packers. They have a 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. Back to throw. Gary. And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 20. 3 sacks in that affair. Now one here in the second quarter.
Well, how about our conversations this week? With him, it was pretty simple. He said, I've got a few combinations I can try it out they haven't seen yet. And on the flip side, they thought they had a plan to block him. Might need to come up with something else because he looks like he's getting loose now.
Punch, counter punch. Off the play fake. Gary. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Offensively, might be thinking, what's going on here? 1 for their first 7 throwing the football.
So maybe they're thinking about rethinking their strategy a little bit right now with the way that they're throwing it around, not having that success. Might have to lean on the running game for a little while and see if they can get him back in form.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Gary letting one go deep for the end zone. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll try and run it in with Jones. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Back at the 2 now. Here's 2nd and goal. They'll try again with Jones. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. So it's 3rd and goal, and now the question, can this Falcon defense stand tall once more? Here's Jones. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout, and we will. We've got an injured Packer on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. And his kick is good. And they'll at least get on the board here, still trailing, but 16-3 now. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
This one taken from the 7. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive? A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown, but they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over.
So the big play moves them all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. He's going to let this go for the end zone. And incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone.
Coverage was very good that time. A nice job to smother him as the ball arrived, and that ensured an incomplete pass.
And it keeps 6 points off the board. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. A big play there with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Falcons push further out in front. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. The Packers on third down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. From the gun, Gary, nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
They were in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their 3rd one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
And apparently they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
It'll be a 44-yard punt. The return goes for 8. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Look at me. Zipper. Hey, rock it. Ready?
They'll try to sweep with Elliott. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play as we have reached the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. They'll look to throw. He can run for it, and he will. The coverage may be too good that time as he breaks away for 19 with his legs and a first down.
30 base. 6-6, bullet high.
They'll set up to throw. Going right side here, and that's complete.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Hey, check Michael out. Check Michael.
Go.
I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you. Hey,
Snap.
2nd and 5. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. They're going for a receiver there. Already has 1 touchdown in this first half, a 2nd one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored 1, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass.
Smith. 5.
And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the first. Give him 3 yards there as that'll take us to 4th down.
Even though positive yardage was gained on that play, I think the defense has to be happy. Obviously, they were prepared for some trick plays coming into the game, and they looked very aware that those could happen on any given down.
And for the 2nd time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. On the left hash, officially, it's called a 51-yard attempt. And this one is no good. He missed it. And this score will stay right where it is.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
So good field position for the Packers as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Williams loses the football. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Not much has changed since we left you at halftime. The snow still continuing to fall as we are back underway. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to...
Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. Kenny Clark. Backfield, sack number 16 on the year. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. On the toss, here's Williams. It's a 6-yard pickup to get him back to the original line of scrimmage with 3rd down coming up.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end, in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. Taking it about the 16. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. 10th carry now for Elliott. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Falcons. Ezekiel Elliott, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Falcons push further out in front. You always worry about the plant foot in the snow, but no problems there. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then head
nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. But he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
And he'll get this one across the 20, but only up to about the 21. It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on 4th down. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. 45 yards, that's what the punt goes for. 5 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And they're hoping to redo their efforts of the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. That's caught inside the 20. It's a big play there for Atlanta. 47 yards.
Just more of the same there, partner. Guys have just been running free in the secondary this entire game. No pass rush, a lot of passes completed. Been an easy day for them.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. And with the play clock reading 4, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter.
Let's set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone.
He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
You know how we get focused at end of the half and end of the game situations about how much time's on the board and, you know, what you need to do? Sometimes you don't even have to worry about that. That's just smart football. You know, that kind of a lead, staying in bounds, it burns clock, even in a situation that we're not really focused on it.
I don't even know why this team showed up.
Hey, Delta.
12.
Hey!
Hey, come on out here. Come get some. Come get some. Come out here. Come get some.
Looking to throw to the goal line, but it's incomplete.
You got to be precise with your throws, especially in this situation. You're inside the 10-yard line going into the end zone. But sometimes the emotion, the excitement, sometimes the decisions just aren't made very well because of that.
Check.
Big grip.
And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. From 8 yards out. And the Falcons use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Extra point up and through. And that will extend this big lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And he'll get about 3 as he takes this up near the 25.
But you know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. They're looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Give them 18 on that play, and Green Bay has the first as well. Now a first down carry. It's Williams. And, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10.
Well, as this game continues to evolve in the NFL, you know how much coaches love run after catch, but you know what they love even more? Completions.
Yeah, just holding on to the ball.
Catch it, cover it, tuck it away. Whatever you get after that is almost gravy. That's how a lot of these receivers are being taught now.
And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45. But just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Back now at Lambeau. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. They stick to the ground game on first down. It's Williams. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13. 2nd and 13. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off near the 32. And the return stops just a little bit shy of midfield at the 48-yard line. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December. Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake, after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
Josh Jackson, the former Iowa Hawkeye, made the play defensively.
2nd and 7 at the 50-yard line.
Ready, 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Yep. Motion, motion, motion. Hey, let's go.
Quick hitter here. It's complete. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
Back to throw here. Being chased out left. And that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
On 3rd down, here's Jones. And he will lose yardage here back to his own 6. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. Very good starting field position for the Falcons offense as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. Here's Elliott. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. Again, it's Elliott. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. 10 yards there and a 1st down for the Falcons. Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the first half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
Back to throw. They'll roll him out right. Campbell making the catch. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down. A little risky there when you roll out of that pocket right like he did. You complete the pass, but you don't get anything out of it.
But how many times have we seen when a quarterback exits out of the pocket, doesn't matter whether they go left or right, the defense loses its leverage, right? There's a little chaos back there, and receivers come open. Great discipline on that play. They didn't let that happen and held it to no gain.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. So another score there. And often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. This one fielded at the 5. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Just a yard there, so it brings up a tough 3rd and 12. Another carry, same story. 4th quarter, and he is in red numbers right now with a running game.
Hard to believe because you figure at some point you break off a run. But in this case, what we're seeing is just pure domination by the defense. I think it started with the scouting report. They got into what they were doing offensively, into their mindset, and now they're beating them to the punch on every snap. He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
On now is the Packers punter. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he'll send this one into the cold Lambeau night. And maybe getting a little too cute there on the punt return. Sometimes they forget paramount holding on to that football.
I really do believe most of the return guys think to themselves, When I get the ball, I'm going to make the play that's going to change the game.
I'm going to break it.
I'm going to break it. And you love that they have that attitude, but your point is so well taken. What do you have to do? First and foremost,
hold on to it.
Take care of the football. That's all he needed to do.
That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. They go to Elliott again. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. But Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Atlanta, it's an important win for their playoff hopes as they move to 8-5. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week, where they take on the Minnesota Vikings. Meanwhile, for Green Bay, it's going to all but eliminate them from the playoff picture as they fall to 5-8. And they'll try to get back on the beam next week as they'll head to Tampa to take on the Bucs. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.
I was waiting to shine. My father taught me don't be soft, so now I'm taking what's mine. I define myself as ambitious, young, black, and gifted. Master P, my masterpiece. That mean